you need ads to scale to 10k months?
Do we?
Well, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the show. Is it a show? It's a YouTube video.
Yeah, YouTube show.
A YouTube show, fair. Well, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about ads, everything ads, and do you need paid ads to scale your fitness business? I think it's a very big misconception that you need them or don't need them, right? So that is the very topic of this conversation.
Yeah, that was succinct, wasn't it? You either need them or you don't. So another option.
Well, at the end of the day, it depends.
Yeah.
Sean?
In my opinion, you don't need them. You can go one route or the other, right? You're either going to go all in organic, put all your effort into making that content to get it in front of people's eyes naturally, or you pay to do that and cut out the middle bit.
So essentially, it's just speed.
Yeah.
It's a fast pass, isn't it?
Mm.
But you can only really do it once you've proven an offer and you've proven content, and then you can filter in the ads. Because I suppose one thing we always see is that if organic and sort of offer isn't clear, as soon as you start driving traffic to that source, if it's not clear, so if it's driving to an Instagram page and that offer isn't clear, then you're essentially just paying money for traffic that won't convert. So that's one thing that we always look for with our coaches, is obviously establishing that the organic side and the content and the offer and everything like that is super clear before we start to run any sort of paid traffic towards it.
Yeah, you need a whole entire sales mechanism behind it. You can't just because when you look at paid advertising, it's effectively traffic, which is a very it's not a small part, because every single business needs traffic, but at the same time, if you don't have a sales cycle or a sales system behind that, the traffic, you're just essentially paying for more eyes to your shit page with no offer, right? So effectively, you could be spending £10 a day on ads, and we see that quite a lot, right? Where someone's running ads, but there's no there's nothing behind it. There's no sales system. There's no offer that it's going to. It's just basically just paying for your page to be visible, which is absolutely great, but it's just not going anywhere. And also, if you run ads in the wrong way, which we see a lot with, especially with the guys that run Done For You or have gone into the Done For You stuff, people really set the paid ads up wrong, so they attract the complete wrong audience. So you're people, I think when people look for ads, they typically look for I need more followers so I can sell to the people. But it's well, if you have more followers to the page, but they're absolute caca, they're just random people, or people are just not going to buy from you, then as a business model, that doesn't make sense at all.
No, you're essentially paying to be popular at that point. It's not paying to actually have.
I'd do that.
Paying to have
pay a lot of money.
You're paying for viewers and not buyers at that point. So that's where essentially we just said, is the content and the offer has to be super clear once they get the traffic comes in. But then equally on the back end is, if you're not able to convert what you currently have in your audience, so you don't have a clear sales system, you don't have a good conversion rate, again, all you're doing is filling that front end without any sort of conversion on the back end, which obviously if you're then paying for that, it's going to be an expense to your business because you can't convert. So until you can prove your organic content and offer is clear, and then you're converting your current audience, then you can move into sort of almost bolstering that with a paid ad strategy then.
I think also sometimes people, they hide behind it. They go, this isn't working, so I'll just throw ads at it. And I like to see ads as an accelerator. You have to build the product, you have to build the fire, and then you chuck the fuel on the fire. Without the fire, you're just throwing fuel on wood won't set it alight. So you have to build in, whether it is a sales mechanism, a VSL, whatever it is, there has to be proof of product. You have to have a minimum viable product to then essentially bring more eyeballs to it. Otherwise, you can potentially get more followers, but that doesn't actually equate to people that are engaged and willing to buy. If you're selling a coaching program and people are coming in because you're doing funny videos, it doesn't necessarily translate to transformation packages being sold and long-term coaching clients and actually creating a result. So a lot of people, I think, they lean on the ads, especially from what I've seen. They're like, we're not getting the audience in, we're not getting enough outreach or inbound. Can we just throw some ads on it? And it's well, no, because something's not working first. If someone's learning to ride a bike and they're not doing very well, you can't just shove them on the bike and throw them down the hill because they'll still fall off and it'll hurt like hell. So it's like we have to fix the problem first. And I think a lot of people actually, they try and hide behind it thinking it's going to magically just solve their problem. But Meta will just be like, cool, we'll take your money while you try and work it out.
Free Amex points though.
Yeah, if you're spending enough, it's free Amex points, yeah.
Yeah, but I think like with a lot of the ads, like this is what we do with our side. It's like we always look at like, you almost have to reverse engineer, like you have to backwork where it's going. So like if you want buyers, it's like, okay, like what does the whole entire strategy look like before that? Like how, like in order to get buyers, what actually has to happen? And then obviously the ads are basically just providing the throughput. But a lot of people just look at the ads like this, like it's going to save my whole entire business. And it's like, without that like end mechanism in place, like it's not going to do. Not gonna do shit. And we see this a lot with people with like loads of followers. Like we've worked with people with like 150,000 followers, 200,000 followers, and it's like if you don't have that like offer in place, or if you don't have the sales process in place, the unique mechanism, like we've had people in the program with like sub 15 clients with 150,000 followers. It's like you know, like until you've got traffic isn't the be all and end all. You have to be able to sell to. Even if it's like 10 people, you have to sell, you have to prove your mechanism, you have to prove your offer, then run ads. It's quite funny because like a lot of the people that we work with are in the bodybuilding industry. And the closest analogy that we could ever find is like basically taking gear. It's like taking steroids, right? Like, yes, you could eat like crap, train like crap, sleep like crap, and take steroids. And yes, you might have a very small marginal gain. But if you do everything right and then you take gear, like you're gonna get jacked, right? Maybe.
Fully promoted.
Discount code for gear,
Yeah.
Jack 10.
Demonetized instantly.
Jack 10. Are you a local dealer, Jack 10? Just say Jack.
I think it can like, because when you say like to get to 10k a month, it's like depending on the starting point. Like if you were really low with no following, it's tempting to like go either down the organic route looking for like pure attention. And again, like when you reverse engineering, you want buyers, getting people just viewing based on like hooks, based on what's popular, based on reaction content, all that kind of stuff. You're not necessarily getting the buyers in. Ads, you can engineer that, and it's not like you need one or the other. It's like depending on your offer, where you're at and where your business is at, and who you are as a person. Like that's kind of, you either pay to get it or you just work to find a way around that.
There's definitely stages to business as well. Like the first 3 to 5k per month, you are doing absolutely everything. And I think people don't realize how much it actually takes just to get to that point. And then it's okay, now I'm at like, I've hit like 5k 3 months in a row. Now what does the next stage look like? How do I get to 7? How do I get to 7.5? Then like getting to 10, like just because you're at 5 doesn't mean you can skip a beat, chuck on an ad and then get to 10. Because if you look at your business and say like, what's, if I was to double my business right now, what's the first thing that would break? Do you actually even if we did give you enough clients to take home 10k, are you even going to withhold them? Are you going to keep them? Are they going to be serviced properly because the onboarding systems aren't there? So a lot of the time when you're looking at 3 to 5k a month, people are doing everything on their own. They don't have any automations in place. They don't have any systems. They don't have an onboarding process. So even if you were to chuck on ads and you did get to that revenue number, you wouldn't even hold on to it. I personally feel like a lot of people would probably leave the coaching program. It would damage your reputation. And then actually looking longer term, it's like, can we build it more sustainably so that, again, once the infrastructure is there, the foundations are there, everything's working, then like we said, it's an accelerator. So you want, when you're adding the fuel to the fire, you want to make sure it's contained and it won't just spread everywhere, because that's not what you want. You don't want a huge influx of people coming to your page and you're not actually, you don't know what your offer is, you don't know what your messaging is, you don't know how to do DMs, you don't know how to onboard, you haven't sorted your app out yet, you don't actually know what you're coaching them, you don't know what the end result's going to be, you haven't actually sorted anything out like that. So if we then chuck on ads and say it does go really well and you do get 300 inquiries in a week, how do you actually process that? How do you actually onboard 300 people?
Yeah, then also like we see this a lot, like the difference between hitting one 10k month and consistent 10k months, the business model is so different, right? Like realistically, I categorically stand on the fact that most people could probably hit one 10k month, like one, as in, okay, this is the one. But like the difference between one 10k month and consistent and consecutive ones, the whole entire business model changes. Because like, yeah, you can have like a 1 gram go back to gear, $1,000 package, right? And you sell 10 of them in a month, that's cool. But then like, what happens after that? Like what does the whole entire thing do, right? So the difference between hitting one 10K month and consecutive is all in the retention, the controlling LTV, the making sure your clients get results, your referral scheme, like everything from like a back end business perspective. So it's not just like when people look at paid ads, it's always just like front door, but it's not necessarily back door. You could talk about back door.
I mean, on that topic in a slightly different manner, I do know people that they have 10, 15K months regularly, but it's all front end and they really struggle to hold anyone in. And they are spending so much money on ads. They are churning out new copy, new content. They're constantly bringing in people, but their churn is so high, their LTV is so low, and it's a constant influx of people, which realistically means that they're in fight or flight all the time. They're not actually building a business. They're just repeating a cycle of, they're making 10, 15K months, but it's new ads, it's new copy, it's constantly gunning because every 5 they bring in, 10 go out the other end. And they're never actually getting on top of it when really you need the systems in place to build those regular 3K months, then 5K months, then 7K months, then get into the position of right, now we can advertise, now we can get consistent 10, 12, 15K months because you can manage that because the systems are there. Because otherwise you can, like we're saying, have all these people coming in, but then what does that look like longevity wise? Like you constantly bring in new people, but are you retaining anyone? Where is your churn at? If you've got 30% churn, but you're turning over 10K a month, it's like you're probably losing. If you get 100 clients at £100 a month, you're going to be losing 30 clients a month. Like that's a hell of a lot of people to get back into your program. Whereas if you had 50 clients at £200 a month and you lost 5, it's going to be a lot easier to then find another 5 because you have a better program.
I think also people don't understand what it actually takes to have consistent lead flow with ads as well. Because like people think that it's just going to be like one ad. And then all of a sudden it pumps, and then all of a sudden your life is complete. But it's like the amount of like legwork you have to do to consistently generate leads. Like you're always making new ads, you're always adapting the copy, like you're always just adjusting and adapting. Like with our ads, right? We work on this like 24/7 to have consistent lead flow. So like when people look at ads, it's like, I'm going to flick on one ad, and then all of a sudden I'm going to get to 10K months. It's like no, it's ridiculous. Right? It's a crazy way to think about it. You have to do multiple levels of testing. You have to do multiple levels of creative testing, copy testing. You have to also understand that you'll have creative fatigue. So once an ad starts to pump, it's going to dip, and you have to be prepared to make new ads to see if you can outperform the other one or keep it at that same level. So like, when people look at like ads, it's always like, I'm going to make one ad and then it's good. But it's like, you're probably going to making a lot of fucking ads. Like we make what
in a month, probably 50
at least
50
ads a month.
At least. That's not like a slower month, to be honest, but it's just because we're so hot on monitoring things like you mentioned, like fatigue and making the adjustments early. Like we almost get to a point where we probably can almost, well, you definitely can, is like foresee this is going to start fatiguing, and even before it bottoms out, we pull it to push another one in.
And then and I'm also with how many ads have we made where it's like we've used it for a day and we're like that was good, now it's gone. And then we have to like always make new ads, and we always have to have them in a pipeline. So on top of the whole like you're pushing people in, you're sending to people and stuff like that, you've also got to look at like this moves as a cog as well. So like if you haven't got all of these processes in place, like again we have like a whole entire ad system where I make the like you give me the copy, I make the ads, you'll go and edit them, I get it passed into Ads Manager, I push it into Ads Manager and monitor, and then it's like it's like a conveyor belt the whole time of
you're
testing.
gonna hate this word, but it's an
ecosystem.
Oh, God. Or that one. It's a flywheel.
We can hear you when you.
It's getting super loud, so it's
make sure
super loud. But
I think you're right there on the terms of the volume as well. Like I text you the other day, just like, how are you doing? You're like, I just made 241 ads, and you're like, cool, that's a shed load.
You
and
didn't
then
ask me how I was.
yeah, I'm good, thanks. No, but like when I have calls with some of our clients that are like banging their head against the wall, they think it's not working. They're viewing things in weeks as opposed to years, and it's like Jack made 241 ads yesterday, and they go, oh, And you're like, yeah, there's the volume. Like they just physically, they don't truly understand the sheer volume it takes. And we'll be on calls with people and talking to them about what they need to do within their business. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, yeah, we're like 10 years in, you're 10 weeks in. Like sometimes you just have to do it for longer.
Mhm.
And I think people don't truly appreciate until you're in a situation like yours, or when I ran ads before, like how much volume it actually takes. And obviously before the change, it was obviously the recent update they've had, it was a lot more. You had to do the interest before Andromeda, to the interest, you had to do so many different ads, and you were literally like, you would have 20, 25 of pretty much the exact same ad, just the heading was slightly different and the image was slightly different, and you were having to create so much content and headline and copy and all of that stuff, and that can take a whole day. And then you've got to do your sessions and your check-ins and your follow-ups and your DMs and your learnings, and it takes so much. And I think that people think, like you said, they can just start one ad, create one ad and just put it out there and be printing money. And it's like, if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. It's not that easy, because that just isn't the way the world works. And like you said, there's some ads you go, that's amazing, it works for a day, and then it just flops off. And there are some ads you think, and you're like, this is going to be the absolute bomb, and nobody cares. And then the random one that you just happen to chuck together, throw out, suddenly it's going well. But then you can't repeat that process because there wasn't a process. You just were just throwing things at the wall to see what stuck. And it is just, I mean, one of the biggest kind of things I was taught from a mentor years ago is like, he who can spend the most will always win. And when it comes to ads, it's literally that, like, whoever can stay in the game the longest and whoever can spend the most will always win. And I don't think, he taught me at the beginning, when the goals that I had for my business, it was like, in order to get to where you want to go, you have to be comfortable spending a lot of money to get there. And I think people wouldn't be able to probably process how much you actually spend per day on ads. They would see that and shit the bed.
And we're quite so like our ad spend's quite small in comparison to like e-commerce, for example. Like e-commerce are probably spending about 20k a day on ads. Like we spend about $1,000, like $1,000, so like 30k a month on ads. But like on the back end, obviously there's quite a large upturn. It's quite funny actually, because like one of our highest performing ads that's in profit for like nearly 250k, it was an ad that I made in my car, and it took genuinely about 2 minutes.
Barely edited.
Yeah, barely edited. Anything else like that is still running now, still absolutely like crushing. But it's like, that's through multiple levels of testing. But I suppose, like, to wrap up this, do you need ads to scale to 10k months? You don't need it.
You don't need it, but if you've got all the other things that we've mentioned in place, I believe that is logically the next step to look. But it's like anything, like what we were talking about, is if you're not able to tell me like your LTV and like your conversion rates, your close rates, all these types of data points, trust me, as soon as you guys know, as soon as you go into Ads Manager and you have to track a lot more data, and you have to track that data, because if you don't, you aren't going to be able to manage your ads at all effectively. So until you're in a position where the business is in a position where you can track everything, you can get every metric and data point over, and the offer is clear, the organic content is clear, your sales system is in place, your conversion is there, then tick all these boxes. And like, that's what we do with our guys, is we make sure all that is in the right place before we just go, just start chucking money at something. Because the goal for us is not to get you to spend money to waste money, it's to spend money to make money. And that's the biggest thing. And I think a lot of people, like, we've basically ironed it out over this now, is that people use ads as a band-aid or a plaster, whatever it is, like, to kind of fix a leak, when the way to fix that leak is strip back, fix the process, then you can look to add on top. So yeah, I think it is a case of you don't need them, but once you've established an organic side of things, then I think it's a natural next step. Peace out, A-Town down.